often talk about bouncing through from one competition to another. How easy or difficult actually is that?
It should be relatively easy. We should have a group of players here who are really looking forward to getting back to Premiership action, particularly at home. I'm not going to say I'm expecting anything, because I think that's probably been our issue this season. Sometimes we've expected things to happen and we've expected performances. But what I'm certainly asking for is that we show a real quality of performance, and what we do on the pitch at the weekend means that the result's in our hands and doesn't come down to one or two slight things that might happen in the game, and that certainly hurt us in our last group of Premiership games.
How difficult? Well, you always talk about the balancing act, obviously, of picking the squad for different competitions, etc., etc. Are you happy with where you are now?
Oh, definitely. I think the last month shows a real strength and depth in the squad. Obviously, the European performances were very pleasing. And getting the home quarter final was very good for us. And then obviously we changed things up slightly for the LV Cup, and I thought we put in two very good performances. I think the group of players and as a whole will have learnt an awful lot from the Saracens game, where kind of doing the right things for quite a long period had us certainly in contention, and at one stage in the second half in the lead. But we also learned that as soon as you stop doing the right things, we often talk about don't get bored with doing the right things. Once you do stop doing the right things and give good sides ins into games, it gets very tough, and we had a tough 10 minutes at Saracens that decided the game.
What are you expecting from Falcons this weekend?
I'm expecting them to be a good competitive side. They're enjoying what they're doing, but we spend a fair bit of the week really making sure that we're focused on ourselves. Obviously that's the important thing now. We've got a very important month of Premiership fixtures coming up. We're probably where we want to be in every other competition. Being fifth in the Premiership is great, being 1 point off fourth is great. Are we where we want to be? Well, probably after our last round of Premiership games, not really. I think the players are still a little bit frustrated with how they've had certainly a couple of wins slip through their fingers, and we've got to make sure that's an important motivation for us this weekend.
What is the goal now from the Premiership? I mean, is it top 6, top 4? Or?
Well, we made no secret at the start of the season, so I'm not saying anything different. I said at the start of the season the Premiership was our focus, and we wanted to get back in the top flight European competition. It's great to be there for a number of reasons. I mean, mainly I think it's the closest you can get to playing international rugby without actually having your players in that competition, and I think that's very important for us as a club going forward. We want to make sure the players who are here have the best opportunity of putting themselves forward on the best show window they can. And for me, that's the Premiership and the Champions Cup. We've been in that cup a couple of times, and we've very much enjoyed the experience and learned a great deal from it. And we're ambitious enough to want to be there on a regular basis. So that's why, as I said, being fifth in the Premiership is great, but we've got an awful long way to go and an awful lot of hard work to do if that aim of staying in the top 6 or getting anything further beyond the top 6 is going to come to fruition.
You've got a few players knocking on that England door, but not quite managing to get. So, how do you view it? I mean, is that frustrating for you, or in a way, I suppose it's a positive?
Obviously, it's very positive in that they're there and they're thereabouts. But again, my frustrations are similar to what I've just talked about. That I think a number of those guys would potentially have pushed through on the back of a couple of slightly better performances in those last couple of Premiership rounds before the England squads were selected. That's a frustration for me, but at the same time it's something we've got to use as a driver going forward, that the truth of it is your top international players tend to get pulled out of the clubs that are around the top of the league for obvious reasons, and a driver for us has to be that we aim to get back towards that level where we were probably 2-3 months ago.
How are you looking fitness-wise for this weekend?
Yeah, it's got a strong squad. Not too worried about any injury issues. I mean, people are aware of the longer-term injuries we've got. We've trained very well this week. We've had a good, strong group in. I think we've prepared well. But as I said, I've said to the guys, you've got to stop expecting things to happen, because we turned up at training, we've got through a good training week, and then the Saturday comes, and a lot of what we do is quite good. A lot of what we do, it's very rare we're in a Premiership game, and a lot of what we do isn't pretty good. But you have to be a bit more than that to make sure that you force the issues that are going to happen.